Hi everyone. Today we're going to read a story about spring, and it's called The Thing About Spring. And in spring, which is the season we're in right now, things change. Winter is a lot different than spring. And this story is about four friends. One is Rabbit, and he's not sure that he wants winter to go away. And his three friends, Mouse, Bird, and Bear, are happy that it's spring. Let's see if they can convince Rabbit that it's a good thing for the seasons to change. Once again, our story is called The Thing About Spring, and this is written and illustrated by Daniel Kirk. The world looks a little different today, Mouse said one bright morning. It smells different too, said Bird. There are buds on the trees and new colors in the sky, and I feel warm and happy. Me too, said Mouse. Spring is finally here. Hooray! Mouse and Bird hurried to share the good news with their friends. Rabbit was in the meadow, busy with a shovel and a pail. What are you doing, Rabbit? Mouse called. Saving snow while I still can, Rabbit grumbled. We won't see any more of this until next year. But spring is coming, Bird chirped. Aren't you excited? I don't know. Does he look like he's excited? Excited, said Rabbit. Ha! The thing about spring is that I won't be able to follow my friends' tracks in the snow. Then I won't be able to find them. But now you won't be cold, said Bird, and you won't have to look for me. I'll be right beside you. Me too, said Mouse. The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that I won't be able to make snow bunnies anymore. I won't be able to build snow forts either, and you know how much fun I have doing that. And I won't be able to make snowballs to throw at my favorite targets. But little shoots will grow out of the ground, Mouse said, so you won't have to look far to find delicious things to eat. The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that Bear is waking up. You know how bad he smells at the end of a long winter, and I'm sure he's going to want a hug. Oh, Rabbit, said Bear with a yawn. Just because I'm a little stinky doesn't mean we can't share a big hug. I want the hug too, said Bird. Me three, said Mouse. The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that it rains when you're not expecting it. But rain brings out the flowers, said Mouse. And the worms, said Bear. And it makes you clean, said, Bird. And it makes you clean, said Bear, and ready for more hugs. The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that when the days get longer, the nights get shorter, and I'm a cranky bunny when I don't get enough sleep. But in the spring, we need more daytime because there are so many things to do, said Bird. In the spring, I love to make loop-de-loops and race clouds across the sky, said Bird. In the spring, I love to nibble tasty buds and dig tunnels in the soft pine needles, said Mouse. In the spring, I love to splash in the lake and dance in the sun, said Bear. Spring is wonderful. The thing about spring, said Rabbit, is that all the animals chatter on, and the racket hurts my ears. I'll try to be more quiet, whispered Bird. Me too, whispered Mouse. Me too, whispered Bear. But it's hard not to make a little noise when spring is here. All right, Rabbit sighed. I suppose no one can stop the seasons from changing. But the thing about spring is that when I stop around so much and the sun is so warm, it makes me really thirsty. Me too, said Bear. I think we're all a little thirsty. Well then, said Rabbit, you should be glad I saved some snow. Look inside my pail. The thing about spring is that it's full of surprises. It's wonderful, Bird chirped. Now that spring is here, the snow has turned into water. It's like winter gave us a present before it went away, said Mouse. I found some cups, Rabbit said. Dip in. It will be our last taste of winter. And our first sip of spring, said Bird. Here's to spring, said Bear. I think it's going to be great. Me too, said Bird. Me three, said Mouse. And the friends looked at Rabbit. Oh, all right, he said. Me four. Spring is here. Hooray! And there they go. The end. Hi, everyone. Today we're going to make this really cute little bunny puppet out of a paper bag and some construction paper. As you can see, I'm going to start with my paper bag. My paper bag isn't as long as my rabbit, and the reason I did that is that while this would fit my arm, it would be too long for your little friend to be able to play with their puppet. So what we do is we start by cutting off the bottom, not the top where the flap is, but the bottom. You just want to cut off about this much. That's about 2.5 inches. It doesn't have to be precise. And you're going to save this because you're going to use this to make our little friend's arms. So here we have our beginning. Where do we go from here? Let's start with the ears. You're going to need to make 2 ears and the inside to the ears. While you want to make this kind of the same size, it's very easy if you take a piece of paper and fold it in half. This is a scrap piece of paper that would normally go into your recycling bin to go into the trash. And eyeballing it, you start down here and you cut up till you make an ear. Isn't that easy? And so then, as you can see, I recycle everything. And so this is from another project. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it here, and I'm using 2 pieces because I want 2 ears. And instead of having to cut it out over and over, one, another one, I just put the 2 pieces of paper together and I cut along, following the little sample one that I did, the template. And if it's easier for you to take a pencil and outline this, go ahead and do that. So now we have our 2 ears. How do we make the pink that fits exactly into those ears? Take the one that you've already done and just go back and make it smaller by cutting it like this, just following it up. So you have the same shape, it's only smaller. So then you would do the same thing. You would take the pink paper, put it on the pink paper, and follow along and cut the inside of the ears out. So now you're ready to glue your ears. You can either use a regular glue, or you can use what kids seem to be fascinated by, the glue stick. It's very easy for them to do this. They just take the glue stick, they follow it along, and then they place it in the middle of the brown ear. And then you have one ear done. So you now have the ears done. Where do I put the ears? You want to take your bag and you want to glue it onto the back side, not the side that has the flap, because this is their face. So you're just going to take the glue stick, run it along the bottom edge, like this, and then put it on the back. You can either, it's easier if you glue the piece than the bag. Because gluing the piece, you know exactly where you want the glue to go. If you're gluing the bag, you and I both know the glue will be all over the back of the bag. And then you've got the rabbit sticking to everything. So now we have the rabbit's ears on. So our next thing is we're going to go ahead and we're going to use this piece of the brown paper bag that we cut off the end. And we're going to open it up a little bit. So you're using the flat part, not the part that was folded. And if it's easiest for you to go ahead and cut that off, so you're not working with a really big piece, go ahead and do that. So you have 2 little pieces of brown paper. We can just move all of our little scraps over here. And the same thing, to make a template, just take a piece of white paper, fold it in half, and then making it a little narrower here at the bottom, you cut up, come out a little bit, and then you want to go around and make one cut, so it's like this, and then that'll be, and then on this one you want to do so it's half. So when you open it up, you have 3 individual little pads. Then you take that, you put that on the brown bag that you cut out, and you just match it up at the end. So you already have your flat part. You cut this out. And like I said, you can trace this first if that's easiest for you. I've been doing this for 30 years, so it's just quicker for me to do it without tracing it. And then you have, excuse my mess, then you have the two little arms. So we're going to put little pads in them. So we're going to just scooch this all over here. And we're going to take our black marker, and this is a washable one, so we don't have to worry too much about it. And all we're doing is putting little circles in the 3 places. 3 little circles like this, 1 for each of the little pads, and then 1 right bigger one here in the middle. And this is more like an oval. So here you can be talking about shapes. You can talk about the oval, and you can talk about the circles, how they're alike and how they're different. So you do that for both of the Then go ahead, and on this one, you want to glue it on the back part, not the part that you drew on. Just glue a little bit, and then you're going to put it on your little puppet where its arms would be. And that's just a little bit underneath where the flap is. So there we have his ears and his arms. So now we're going to do the face. This is another one where you're going to go back and get some of the white paper that you used. Fold that in half and cut 2 circles out. And if you do this together, then the eyeballs are the same size. You know, an easy way to do it, you're going to say, but I can't make a circle. Use your glue top, put it down on the paper, and trace it. And then you have a size that's just perfect for the little rabbit. So now you have your 2 circles, and you want to go ahead and have your little friend put in the pupil. You can have them looking straight out at you, or you could do it down, have them do it down on an edge like this, so it looks like the rabbit is looking down or over, around. So I'm going to have mine looking out. So once again, I use my glue stick. I glue the eyeball instead of the paper bag. And I just put the eyeball on, somewhat where you think the eyeball would go. Remember, you're going to need to leave some space for the nose and the mouth. Now, if you don't have black construction paper, which we use to make the whiskers and the nose, if we just have like a little, if you have white, you can have them color it black first, and then this is very good cutting skills for an older child, like 4, 5, very good fine motor skills. If you have a 3-year-old that is already handling scissors pretty well, go ahead and have them cut out the whiskers. They don't need to be perfect long rectangles like this one. They can be lopsided, that's okay. What they're going to do though is just cut down so they get a total of 6 strips. You want 3 strips for each side. So once you have the 6 strips, your whiskers are ready, but you're going, well, what about the nose? Well, I'm going to show you how to make a nose just in case you don't have the black paper. And on this one, I would say take a pencil and draw a nose in. And I will highlight this with my marker to show you what it looks like in just a second. You're going to go in between the eyeballs, and you're going to make something that looks like this. And then once you've done the outline, they can color in the nose. And now they have the nose. What about the mouth? Well, they're going to take this, and I'm going to do this upside down to show you, so that it probably will be a little lopsided, but that's okay. Come down from the bottom point, and then curl it up. And then you do the same thing, and I will put this down. Do the same thing for the other side. You can leave his little smile like that, or you can kind of add this for like little cheeks. And you want to take your long skinny whiskers, your little long rectangles. All they do, little glue at the end, and they stick them in. Kind of by the nose, not right on top of the nose. You want to spread them out a little bit. Oops. And if you have sticky fingers, like me, I really got the sticky fingers now. Here we go. So you're going to have it spread out a little bit like this. And anytime that you're working with glue and little friends, it's always nice to have like a wet wash rag near you so you can wash their hands off, so they aren't getting the sticky fingers and getting a little frustrated because things are sticking to them and not their project. So now what is this poor little rabbit missing? He's missing some teeth. So I'm taking a little, this will be another rectangle, almost a square. All I'm going to do, a little piece of white paper, I'm going to take my black marker, make a line right down the middle. So he now has what looks like 2 teeth. Take my glue stick. I really have sticky fingers. Take my glue stick, run it along the top of the teeth, and then I'm going to put this under the flap, right in the middle where his mouth is. And press it down, and now I have my little bunny puppet. Have fun.